Oh,
Oh, what's up?
man, it's early, isn't it?
It
Well, it's
is.
maybe a little late, but
A little early.
we woke up a little early.
Yeah.
I actually woke up before him. I woke up like around 6.
Well, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I kind of opened my eyes and then just closed them back up.
Anyways, I'm Marcus.
Yep. This is MJ Podcast.
MJ Podcast. You named Javier?
Yep.
Well, I would think you would say that. No. I guess I have to do
They
it.
don't need to know.
They don't need to know their name.
Yeah,
It's jalapeno.
I'm the special
Jalapeno
guest.
this business.
I'm the special guest. They don't need to know my name.
Special guest, we got Javier Zuck. Say it any way you like. I'm kidding. Don't say that. Okay, so today on this podcast, we're gonna be talking about Chang Can Dunk. It's a movie. We're gonna see if it's worth watching or not. Do you think it's worth watching?
I don't know.
Maybe do you think it's worth watching when you're bored and you got nothing else to watch and you can't find anything else to watch?
What?
Do you think? Because this podcast, we're about to talk about Chang Can Dunk. It's on Disney Plus. You can watch it. We're trying to see. We're trying to tell them if it's worth watching or not.
Don't watch the trailer though first.
Don't watch
because it spoils practically the whole movie.
It does spoil the movie. But there are some good details in it that it didn't have in there. But you can get a pretty big idea.
I'd watch it after you watch the movie.
Yeah,
the
trailer, or don't even watch the trailer. Yeah. Just watch the movie. Just don't even, because the trailer, so it does kind of give some spoilers out, but we're trying to see whether or not this movie is worth watching or not. Do you think it's worth watching? I think it is. Like, if you can't find any other movie. If you can't find any other movie, like, on the weekend, or I think it's more of a late night movie.
No,
you know?
I feel like it's worth watching. If you like basketball movies?
Oh, for sure.
I would.
Cause I love basketball. He loves basketball. The only downfall is I wish Shane would have joined the basketball team and stopped hesitating so much. Cause I wish we could have seen more of him playing basketball.
Yeah, but he wasn't really as good. Remember when he
wasn't.
He played his first game, he missed.
But the thing is, the dunking.
A couple times.
The dunking, he had to take 11 weeks. He was very determined.
And then when he couldn't do it, he cheated.
Yeah, he broke into a school because he found some guy that played basketball. It was a coach. He played basketball.
Well, he wasn't really a coach. He was just
a trainer, I guess, in a way?
No, because he was watching that video and the guy was dressed up in cosplay and started dunking.
Right, that's true. That is true. So I mean, but he does coach though.
Yeah.
He has coached before.
He went overseas.
Yeah.
So what I wanted him to say was why, like what happened to him that he wasn't in the NBA. Remember? He just
said he did. Yeah.
He just said he went to Europe, and that was it. He didn't.
I think secretly there's some other reason why he didn't. Like something
didn't
work out.
Maybe like an injury or something.
Maybe or the payments didn't go through or something like that.
Because it could have been an injury because he was like when
or maybe they weren't just it wasn't good enough for him.
When Chang was mad and he kept trying to dunk.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, chill out," and then when he like fell.
Yeah.
He kind of like it was like skip.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the reason he didn't join the NBA is because maybe the NBA said that he's not as good enough as they want him to be. Maybe it could. That a lot of theories there, but
yeah.
Let's talk about Chang though. Let's talk about him.
The GOAT.
Yes, he is in love with basketball. The one favorite thing that I like about his room, he's got a little basketball thing near his door.
I wonder. I'm wondering who his dad is.
They did show a picture of him, of his dad.
At the end.
Yeah, at the end. Well, no.
But I figured that was a Kobe poster.
No, that was a Kobe poster. That was a Kobe poster. But they showed a picture of him and his dad. I don't know what happened to his dad. I think he left them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, because they're divorced. They're separated.
Yeah, separated.
Yeah. I remember him telling the girl that. Yeah, his mom is a nurse. She works her butt off for him. And it was just say that they're relationship isn't the best.
Yeah.
Because he knows his mom's doing a lot for him, but he's just trying to follow his dreams, and it doesn't really seem like his mom is there for him, you know, in a way that like isn't agreeing to his dreams or really like upright, like happy about it more than he wants her to be. But it's only because she's so tired mentally and you know it's just that mother thing, you know, like oh I'm trying to do everything I can for you, blah blah blah. But it just, I don't think Chang really likes how he's viewing that, you know? What do you think? You think that? Or you think some
No,
other
yeah,
thing?
yeah, yeah. I think that.
You know, it's just like, because, I mean, my relation, my mom is like that sometimes, but, I mean, but we have a good relationship. I'm a mama's boy. But Chang, we're going to keep talking about Chang a little bit, and then we're going to go to different characters.
Yep, it was Chang. What? Chang 1.0, Chang 2.0.
Yeah, he
and
did.
Chang
Okay,
3.0.
here's the thing. Chang 1.0, we'll talk about that, is Chang 1.0 is the new guy, right? So he has different hairstyle. He did have buzzed hair before, but he wanted to be different, so he wears like a jersey. What was the jersey? What team? I forgot.
I don't actually remember.
If you guys remember, just tell us
It was
in the comments.
I think it was a Bulls jersey.
No, that was the other guy. The guy that he was trying to
No, Bulls are red.
Yeah, no, that was the other guy. That was the white guy. The one that actually could dunk and then that challenged him to do something. He was wearing a Bulls a jersey, yeah.
I don't remember.
We'll look at it again.
But,
the whole point of this podcast is to go over if this movie is worth or enjoyable to watch. And we're going to talk about that. So, Chang, I think, is a nice, decent person, you know, just following his dreams, trying to do everything he can. And he did, but that's where it kind of took him over the edge a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you become famous, you can become a different person that you're not really wanting to be, but it just is so, like, it comes in so fast, it's like, it's not noticeable, you know? But for other people, it is very noticeable. So, like, you tell me how you think he changed in a way. Because at the beginning, he was, like, joyful, like, oh, I want to become this, I want to become that. Like, just trying to follow his dreams, so he starts practicing a whole bunch. But first, yeah.
He was a nobody.
He was a nobody.
Like,
or
nobody.
Just that kid in school, you know?
Yeah.
Just trying to fit in.
Just that kid that's probably going to Harvard.
Yeah. I mean, he does. He's pretty smart.
That kid is really smart.
He is very smart. Like, Chang is very smart. But that's where something kind of took him over, you know? Some other side of him kind of took him, you know?
Yeah.
So, in a way, that I think his character, I think he's a good guy to, you know, to be around. I don't think he's annoying at all. I think he's pretty enjoyable. What do you think?
No, I think he's a good guy to be around.
You talk about him a little bit.
But sometimes he can be annoying.
He can be. He can be.
Like, really annoying.
But he's not over the top like that
No.
annoying. It's just like, it's pretty annoying, you know? Alright, you talk about him. What do you want to say about him? Tell us a little bit about it, too, because you're going to watch it.
Well, I can't say too much about it because I want him to watch it.
Well, yeah, we're trying to see whether or not people like his character or not, based on what we're saying. We're just talking about this movie, you know? Because some people might be watching or hearing this podcast, because they're really hearing this podcast, not watching it, saying, you know, like, I agree with these guys, or maybe they'll have their own theories that they can put in the comments, you know?
True.
And this will be on SoundCloud. We can put this on SoundCloud. Maybe I'll put it on Spotify, but I like SoundCloud better.
YouTube or something.
Or YouTube, yeah, podcast. Just talk about movies. I think this is our first podcast, and I will be for real. Maybe we talk about just random things that happen on a daily. Because sometimes he won't be on podcast, I will, and I'll just talk about it. Sometimes I'll be a solo podcast, but special occasions he'll be here, Javier will be here. But right now, today, for this one podcast, we're just talking about the movie. I think personally, it's more of a movie when you really can't find anything, or you're in that if you really like basketball and you want to just watch some basketball type movie, but it's just like I think this I think this is an 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, around that
I
maybe
give it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Which maybe you guys think is different. Maybe you think maybe like around 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I mean, it's your choice, but I personally love basketball. So does he, and we always challenge each other in basketball. It's fun. We all the time when we're outside, we always try to do different things and try to compete and see who's better. But
crazy trick shots.
I mean, he does all these weird things, and I always injure myself. I always injure my leg and ankles. Not because he breaks my ankles, it's because I break my own. I have to wear a big boot now. Wait. So this movie, I think this movie is worth it.
Yeah.
Well, it's compared
If
to
you haven't watched any basketball movies, I don't think you'd be the best one to first watch.
Yeah. Personally, I think the best one that I think you would get on is Rise.
Then
Hustle. No, I think Hustle would go first. I think Hustle would go first. Hustle's a good one. It's emotional too, but it's a good one. And then Rise, and then it kind of leads into, because that's on Netflix, I think.
Yeah.
Hustle is on Netflix.
Then you got there's a couple other ones. Boogie was good.
Yeah, Boogie was a good one.
Boogie.
That was a good one.
He looks like Chang.
He does. Chang does. Yeah, he does.
It really does look like Chang.
Now, there's all sorts of types of movies. There's
Coach Carter.
Coach Carter. That one is a very good one. I will say personally. And there is a new movie coming out. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. I think it's called Clutch or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I don't know what it's about, but I heard it's supposed to be pretty good. It's been out for a bit. Once I see that movie, I'll talk about it. Maybe let's talk about Hustle too, and it kind of leads up to Hustle. We should talk about that. So, what's the basics of what's happening with this movie? And don't worry, we're not switching to different movies. Like, I guess that is what we're trying to do. We're just talking about basketball. You know what? This podcast is talking about basketball movies.
Hustle?
And whether or not movies that we're talking about are worth watching. I think, personally, Hustle is a very good movie for you to watch.
Hustle is kind of like, came from nothing.
Yeah, it came from nothing and it became something great.
It came out the top.
There's this guy, what's his name? The guy that, I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name.
But he came from, I think, Portugal? Or...
a Spanish place.
Anyways, so... Is it Adam Sandler's in this?
Yeah.
Adam Sandler is a coach. He's a 79er?
He's not a coach.
He's not?
He's a recruiter.
Oh, he's a recruiter, okay. For what team? I forgot. I don't remember the team he is, but I'm sorry we're so bland on this, but we're trying to remember everything we can. This is more we haven't watched. We're trying to go off basis of what we remember, and that's just what makes it more fun, I guess. Just kind of remember, and then it kind of leads up to, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, now I remember this. But I think Hustle. So basically, Adam Sandler is trying to find some basketball player, some other guy, because he has a deadline that his boss wants him to find somebody to fix it. So he's trying to find some good player that could fit in for the team or try out at least, because they're kind of like short on him. So he's trying to find one more. So he goes everywhere. I think he goes to Portugal there, and then he
goes everywhere. He goes to that.
And then he just goes somewhere in Portugal, and there's a basketball thing, and there's a whole bunch of people. Right?
He gave up, so he was like, "Oh, let me go watch some basketball."
Yeah, so he goes.
And this guy was what? Was he 1v1?
No, there was a cup. It was more. It was a game. There's a whole bunch of people around the court,
and he was playing in work boots.
I remind you, the player that he found is like super tall, bro. He's taller than anybody out there. Like.
And he was playing in work boots.
He was playing. Yeah, he was
He
playing
was
work
dunking in
boots.
work boots.
They were trying to do it for. That's why it's called a hustle, because they're trying to play for money.
That's why he had to play for money because he had to provide for his kid.
Yeah. The mom isn't there, but his mom, the tall guy's mom, is there with his daughter. Um, so Adam Sandler starts watching the basketball game. He doesn't really notice the tall guy yet. He's just looking at all these guys that are playing like super good. But then out of nowhere, the tall guy just starts coming out with crazy things, blocking. He's well known for blocking a lot and dunking, and he can shoot. Remind you, he can shoot 3-pointers. He can shoot on point. I think the only problem with him is that when he's under pressure or somebody gets in his head.
Adam Sandler fixed it after 3 times or something like that. Because that one dude. Yeah. No, the one dude was too much.
Yeah, and then what happened was, when this is really when Adam Sandler's got the eye on him, because the tall guy went versus some other guy, because this guy was trying to trash talk him, and the tall guy was like, well, all right, I can beat you, easy block. So he bet on him how many blocks he could get, and he can get one. If he hit the rim, then the little guy won. But obviously he wasn't gonna let that happen, so he blocked 3 shots. Cause he had to block 3. He had to block 3 for him to win the money. So they both bet on money. He's like, all right, I bet I can block every hit. I have to block 3 hits, and if you can hit the rim, then you win the money. But if you don't, then I win the money. That's what happened. And then that's when that was when Adam Sandler was in Portugal or whatever, and he was watching the big basketball game. They won the game the first time, and then this guy was like, oh, I can beat you, and blah, 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 because he was trash talking him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so then he said, all right, if I get 3 blocks and you can't get past me, then I win the money. But if you hit the rim at least once, then yeah, you get the money.
I thought that was when the one team wasn't going to take him.
No, that wasn't it yet. That was still in the big basketball court area outside, nighttime, and a whole bunch of people there. And so Adam Sandler's counting how many times he blocked him. So he blocks him once, Adam Sandler says 1. And then he does it again, 2. And then he does it a 3rd time, boom, 3. Adam Sandler is in love with this guy. So he starts wanting to go talk to him. So everybody starts crowding everybody because they were like, oh, blah, 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 all excited, right? So then Adam Sandler started walking to him.
Jumps on the bus.
He jumps on the bus, then Adam Sandler starts running after the bus, gets on the bus, and then sits down next to him and taps him. And the guy's not amused because he thinks
the guy said something funny. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, he did. He was just like, "Oh, you're a really good basketball player." And remind you, he's trying to speak Spanish, but he can also speak English too. The tall guy can speak English too, but Adam Sanders didn't know because all he heard was Spanish. So he was just thinking that he could only speak Spanish. So he used his translator on his phone, and he said I think he said something
he
said stupid on accident. Yeah, so then the guy was like, whatever. So he gets off the bus. He stops the bus and he gets off it, and then he walks home. So then Adam Sandler gets off the bus and starts walking to him. Remind you, that's pretty creepy if someone's just walking and just following you. So the guy gets pretty jumpy. So he walks into his house, and then Adam Sandler kind of stays behind him a little bit, not too close, but pretty far. And then he bangs on the door on his house, and the guy comes out with rage and hits the thing. It's like, why are you following me? Stop following me. Yeah, the cave thing.
And he goes, oh, you speak English?
Yeah, blah, blah. Then they kind of fought for a little bit, not fist fighting, but just arguing a little bit. And then
his mom came out blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, just explaining what's going on basically. And then Adam Sandler finally was just like, he called one of his guys that works for the NBA, and he called him, FaceTime him, and then his friend was fakingly saying, oh, I don't know who this guy is, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't know who Adam Sandler is, right? And then he's like, stop messing with me. He's like, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this is Adam Sandler's, the character's name of Adam Sandler's. I don't remember it, but he's like, yeah, blah blah blah. And then that shows him proof that he does work for the NBA. So the guy was like, all right, fine. So they go inside the house. They start talking for a bit, and then he brings him back to, what is it, New York? I think it's New York. It might be New York. I could be wrong.
Yeah, somewhere, I don't know.
Somewhere in
United States.
United States. And he goes there. Then he starts practicing, and he starts.
Well,
Yeah, you go.
what's his name? Adam Sandler promised him that he was gonna get an advance
Yeah, he did.
in money for his, family kid because they didn't grow up in the best environment. But what's his name? The team that Adam Sandler is the recruiter for
Yeah.
didn't want him.
Mhm.
So Adam Sandler's been paying out of pocket.
Yeah. So him and his wife have been paying for him.
Well, first of all,
this
his wife
entire time.
didn't even know.
Oh, his wife didn't know at the time, but then he finally told her, and I don't remember if she got mad at it, but she got kind of like
She was supportive,
she was surprised at the time, but then was like, you know what, I'll be supportive. So she's been paying too. So and then the tall guy found out that he wasn't getting, like, I don't know, he found out about it, and then he kind of got mad, and basically it just kind of it was kind of an argument where it was like he didn't really understand what really was going on. So then Adam Sandler's kind of was like, blah blah blah, I've been paying for you, blah blah blah, and then he's like, he kind of like was quiet and was like, oh okay, well, like, thanks, I guess, but I think the bond between Adam Sandler and the tall guy, I think, is like super cool, awesome, because he starts making him run up a road like Rocky Balboa. Like when he starts practicing, he starts running, and he's in the car. His coach is in the car. That's basically what happened there too. And he tried to see if they could get, I don't know, up there.
They could get up the hill plus up the stairs to the top
around the time that they need to beat. I think their bond is pretty cool. Then he gets kind of mad at him about some stuff, and then he starts coming back to being like, oh, he was just doing that for me, and I really appreciate it, And then Adam Sandler just loves the guy, and then
what's his name? Starts ordering
the first thing he does.
He ordered a steak.
Yeah,
took one bite out of it.
He ordered a whole bunch of foods and took only one bite of it. I forgot what he said, but he said something funny too.
Yeah, and then there's some other stuff that happened, but you gotta watch.
You gotta watch it. We're not gonna tell you everything, but we're just telling you pretty basics of what has happened. But I think that movie's a very good movie for you to watch. It's pretty. It's not emotional for you to cry. I mean, there are probably some people that will cry about it, but I think it's more of a person that became nothing with this much talent into becoming something great. Because towards the end, he did become in the NBA. He was in the NBA.
Yeah.
He finally got in the NBA. And the cool thing is that his daughter and his mom were still in Portugal, and then Adam Sandler's like, I have a surprise for you, blah, blah. So he goes in the pool area, and his mom and his kid is there in the United States. And he jumps in the pool, hugging his daughter and his mom.
Yeah.
Well, he hugs his daughter, and then, I don't know why he hugged his mom, but, I mean, I would hug my mom too, but I don't know. I just think it's their bond, Adam Sandler's and the tall guy. I think their relationship is like super cool.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about Rise now.
Rise.
He can tell you more about
Rise.
it. I haven't watched it in a while.
Rise, greatest movie of all time. I'm sorry.
How about, all right? I've been doing all the talking. How about you do?
I'm sorry. Rise is the greatest movie of all time.
Why so?
Alright.
If you guys don't know what it is, he's gonna explain it kind of in detail what it is, or however he's gonna explain it.
Alright.
So you go ahead.
Rise is a movie about Giannis and
Mm-hmm.
Giannis and
The parents.
the parents, and I think he has
Another brother. Right?
a couple brothers, but I don't know.
You have a sister? I don't think he has a sister.
I don't remember, but great movie. It's
It was a good movie.
it's practically the same like upbringing as hustle.
But it's
Came
more.
from nothing.
Yeah.
But
Remind you, they're not legal because they're trying to get back. They're
Yeah.
trying to get into the state because the dad only has a job, right? The dad only has a job. So then a bunch of cops are trying to find all the illegals, right, and try to put them back, ship them back to where they can.
But at first, Giannis and Theonis never played basketball before.
Right.
Until they went to.
They watch it though. They do watch it, I think.
Yeah, but they never really played it.
They never really played because they didn't have the resources to play it.
Yeah. So they go to this park, and they're standing around.
All they had was a basketball, I think, didn't they? They had a basketball, but they didn't have no basketball rim or whatever.
Yeah. And
remind you, they only had one pair of shoes, so they both had to share each. I remember that.
Yeah.
They had to share.
That's some high top Air Force Ones.
Yeah, those are, yeah.
And yeah.
Well, tell us more about it. You know?
I gotta think. It's been a minute since I watched it. Well, so they're at first they both weren't good, but Theonis was he was learning faster than Giannis.
Yeah, he was.
And Theonis at first they had hopes for Theonis to go to the NBA at first.
Yeah.
But then Theonis hurt himself.
Yeah, what was his leg, I think?
Yeah.
He hurt his right leg or his left one? I think it was the right.
It was just one of his legs.
It was one of his legs. I don't remember. You can.
And then Theonis, his dad, the coach, started helping Giannis like get better, gain more muscle.
There's more detail. There's way
I'm
more.
giving you like
the basics we're just
the
skipping points across of what has happened, but there's way more detail on what actually has been happening because we skipped the whole like how he even got to there to be coaching and all that. But his Giannis and his brother both play in NBA today, I think, right? They both do.
I think 4 of his brothers.
Four of his brothers
are in the NBA. 3 or 4. I think one's in G League or something like that.
I think maybe. We'll check on that.
But where was it?
Well, let's talk about Giannis in the movie. Let's talk about him.
Giannis?
Because at first he's not the greatest. His
No,
brother
at first Giannis like sucked.
He was trash. He didn't do
layup,
great, but he
shots,
never
all that.
gave up. That's the cool thing. He never gave up ever. Like he never thought an option was to quit. He never thought like, oh, you know what, maybe I'm not gonna be good enough. I should just end this. No, he kept going and pushing himself and to get better. And he was proud of his brother, but at the same time, he was kind of jealous because his brother got so much better than him.
Yeah.
And Giannis was super happy for his brother, but also at the same time, I think he was very jealous. I think that's what pushed him to keep going.
Yeah.
Not only because he was jealous, but also because he knew he could do it. But he never told himself he couldn't do it. I'm pretty sure there were some doubts in him that he was trying to tell himself, like, I'm not good enough, but he never expressed it, never showed it. But he never gave up, so that he kept trying and trying and trying.
But as you realize, at this whole point of where we're talking, he's still not a United States citizen. The whole time.
This whole time.
The whole plan for him becoming a United States citizen is getting drafted into the NBA. And so they're talking to everybody, and no one really wants him.
Yeah.
And what team wanted him, but they didn't take him?
I don't remember.
Because he wasn't a United States citizen.
I don't know, but
and they didn't want to deal with it. But oh man, I just skipped to the end of the movie.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, we don't need to talk about every detail, but we're trying to say that.
But at the end.
It's the same
like
hustle, kind of, in a way. In a way, you know. but it's more intense.
I forget what pick he was, but he they told him that he wasn't gonna go to the Milwaukee Bucks because they don't want him.
Mm-hmm.
But the last pick, they picked him, and it was him. And then, like, at the end of the movie, it shows, like, him from getting drafted till, like, now, or when
the current
time. And it was pretty cool because Giannis came up from nothing, and now, like,
and became, it's basically kind of like Hustle.
Now
he became
now
nothing
this year,
to something.
Now this year, well, a couple years from now, you know.
I don't remember when this movie came out. It came out like maybe a year ago, maybe. I think.
He showed everybody that
he could do it.
He could do it. You know, his brother went into
some other team. I think I don't remember.
He went into G League at first, or
might.
And
I don't know. You guys
tell
tell us.
Milwaukee Bucks picked him up after.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they're doing great. Giannis is huge. Huge as them.
Yeah, it's in a way this Rise is the kind of it shares kind of the same story like Hustle, because it turns out to be somebody that became something great and he never gave up.
Came up from nothing
into something. That just shows everyone. Basically, these movies are just expressing that these people,
MVP, Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
It's got one ring.
What do you think these movies are trying to like tell other people? Because I know they're trying to tell a story about this person, but I think in reality they're trying to do that, but also they're trying to reach to people that is watching.
I mean,
what do you think?
I think they're trying to reach to people.
I think they're trying to reach to people.
I mean, it doesn't like the story is about basketball.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like it relates to basketball and all that. But
it tells the story of where Giannis came from.
Yeah.
They're not going in this split like. They're not going to every detail about how Giannis became that way. They're going off of like things they've heard or have done. Because I'm pretty sure Giannis has some other stories that he doesn't really want to tell. He wants to take it personally. And, you know, I think personally, these movies are trying to tell other people something to not give up. And just because the team doesn't want you doesn't mean that you should just give up. You should keep trying.
True.
Like Professor, he's a good basketball. The thing is I think he's played in the NBA. I think he hasn't. I don't remember. I don't know much about Professor, but he's more of a.
I've never really gotten Professor, but
you should guys watch him on YouTube. Subscribe to Mr. Professor. He is.
Ooh, I know, and
he's crazy.
High school.
Mm-hmm.
He was a goat.
Oh, he definitely was.
He was a goat.
Yeah, that's what I would not NBA. He was in basketball. He was playing basketball in school.
I don't know if he went to college, but in high school.
Just guys, I don't know much about him, but I do watch him sometimes, but I don't know his history. But you probably is gonna yell at me about that. I'm sorry.
If you play basketball and you don't go to the NBA, don't let that stop you.
No, I think the way I'm pretty sure he did want to go to the NBA, but it just didn't work out. He's not that type to be in the NBA. He's more of there's a different word for it.
I could see him being in the halftime shows.
Yes, doing all this tricks. Yeah, I could see it. Oh, and also if you guys watch Chang Can Dunk, Professor is in that movie. He is when Chang is trying to dunk in practice. Mr. Professor is there trying to help him do all these crazy moves. If you didn't see that,
no, I saw it.
He is in that movie. But I think these movies are. I think every movie, in a way, that's more about a story type. It's about because every movie has a story, but I think these types of movies, I think they try to reach people in a way. I think personally they try to reach people.
Come closer.
Why?
Because they're just looking at me.
Well, they're not. Sorry, guys. He's being weird. He's over here going. You can't even see me, but he's waving his hand like, "Come closer, come closer." Like, you guys aren't gonna see me. This podcast's gonna be only hearing only. You didn't know that?
Oh, I didn't even know that.
No, you're not gonna. He's not gonna. He's telling me to come over. He said, "Come closer, come closer."
Oh,
They're only seeing me.
my bad, people.
No, this movie. I'm over here just spinning my basketball. Wow, we're talking about basketball, but we're going back to what I'm trying to say. Is I think personally these types of movies are they tell a story about that person and how they got there, but also I think they're also trying to reach people that is watching it. It definitely reached to me to not give up. It is definitely. Because I can make my own story. I have it's my body, my life. I make my own story.
Their own story.
Everybody does. Sometimes it can be similar in a way, but it's not always going to be the exact same. There will be people that you meet that have the same somewhat background, but it's not detailed into the same thing because nothing's the same. But I think these movies are trying to explain that, like, listen, don't ever give up. Keep going. Doesn't matter because. Secretly, I'm gonna tell you this. Around the summer, I might become like a model and actor. So basically, you have to get gigs in order to get money. Blah blah blah. Right. So you can become in a commercial. You can advertise for let's just say like Nerf guns. Let's say that I can advertise for that. Blah blah blah. But sometimes you won't always get the gig. They'll find somebody else. Personally, I'm gonna tell you this that I tried making a role for a movie, and I won't say what movie it is, but I was practicing and I became in the middle of the whole thing, so it started way before I even knew about it. So I started acting as that character, and I didn't make the role because apparently I wasn't good enough, but I was really expecting that because I came in between that movie and it wasn't a fresh start for me, so I had to like immediately start practicing this character instantly and then start going on Zoom call with the actual producer and director and actually act it out. But they've already had characters for like they've already had people like rehearsing for this character, blah blah blah. I just didn't get it. But that just shows you that I'm still not giving up. I'm still gonna keep pushing, and I'm pretty sure Hav has stories where he was gonna give up, but he kept pushing on, and he didn't ever give up. So I look.
No, I don't.
You don't.
I just never gave up.
You just never gave up. You never gave up. Nah, but he's had some stories where he almost wanted to give up, but then he came back, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has.
There are a couple stories.
We're just trying to, this podcast is just basically talking about movies and also just talking about, like, I think I like this podcast because I think this podcast really explains about movies, but also I think, in reality, I think we should reach to people and really say, like, hey, this movie's actually trying to reach to people. Because some people just don't view that. Sometimes they just skip over it.
They just watch the movie.
They just watch it. They're like, oh, that's good. Now, I'm not saying every movie's trying to, like, explain to people, like, don't give up. They're, like, Avengers, that isn't a movie that's going to make you, like, oh, I want to become a superhero now. Don't do that, because I want you to be dumb and killed.
Kids, maybe kids.
Maybe for kids, yeah. It might, I will say, but around, like, Nickelodeon show, that's just entertainment, and there are some Nickelodeon shows where they are trying to make kids learn and all that, which is good. And it goes for adults too in movies, because sometimes I think personally the emotional type movies try to reach people. I personally think that. What do you think?
No, I think that,
yeah. So that's my sister. You probably, I don't know if you can hear. But yeah, I these are very good options of movies to watch. We got Rise, we got Hustle, and then we also got Chain Can Dunk, right? And there's another Disney Plus show that you can watch. It's on Disney Plus.
More Boogie?
No, not that. It's you can also that Boogie's another good one to watch. But no, it's another basketball movie. I forgot what it's called.
Boogie is like really intense.
Boogie is very intense. You want to talk about that movie?
No, I've only watched it once.
Only watched it once. I haven't watched it in a very long time. But you guys watch it. You guys tell us what you think in the comments. and we'll see your comments and give us some good ideas of movies that we should talk about that you want to talk about, and maybe like tell us what character you rather us to view more and talk about. Because I personally think that this is like cool, in a way, But I think we're gonna end it here, guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
We're good. You guys might hate us on some views. We might get us wrong. The storyline on what we're explaining, it might be wrong in a way, but don't be mad at us. We're just going off of what's in our brain. Because we could be saying something that didn't even actually happen. But that's the cool thing. But you guys tell us,
we both are, just woke up.
We gotta just.
We're still
tired.
So this is not like our full energized bodies right now.
No.
Oh, you'll know.
You'll know the difference between when we wake up or we've been awake.
Yeah,
because when we just wake up, our brains aren't with us. We're just like we're just kind of going off of what each other are like. Oh yeah, well like okay yeah. Oh that's what I remember. Yeah. And then it's just like awkward like well okay, but you'll notice the difference. And it remind you again. Sometimes I'll have to do solo podcast. I know you probably don't want to hear my voice all the time. I still have to make a music theme for this podcast, I still have to make the intro and then the ending.
Yeah. Man, you have to crop all this out.
No, I don't. I'd rather keep it in. Yeah. You telling me to come closer to the camera? You tell me. I want them to hear who I actually am, how we actually are,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be perfect,
You
can watch some podcasts. Watch Ear Biscuits. Ear Biscuits, not sponsored, but because just watch Ear Biscuits. It's a good podcast. They talk about random things about what happened in their life, or they talk about the weirdest things. My favorite one is when they talk about is farting funny? Is farting funny? Is it even funny? Like that's what they try to talk about, and then they'll try to tell stories about people that have done it. And whether or not if that's funny or not, and then they'll do some facts in there too. Like apparently, Link said that. Did you know that people fart 14 times a day? Did you know that?
Is that true?
It is true. Around that, yes.
14.
Around 14 times. Now, personally,
how'd they come up with that? Just had someone sit there and fart.
probably, maybe. Who knows? Should we give them a little bit more of what, like, just fun stuff that you and I do? Just a little deep, just a little stuff about us. We're done with the whole music, not music, the whole movie stuff. But yeah, guys, if you don't know what Shadow Fight is, you're in a different world.
Oh yeah, if
you guys need to do Shadow Fight, bro. And it's not there's different types of Shadow Fight where you slap each other, but don't do that.
No, that's slap boxing.
That's slap boxing. But Shadow Fight is when you rub your hands together and you point either up, down, left, or right. And if I point to the right, he's gonna try to make his head turn to the left because he doesn't want to follow my finger. Because if he follows my finger, if I go right, and then he goes right, then I get a point, and then I get to go again. If I get him 3 times, that's 1 round, and I win. So, that's also a good movie. Now, since we're talking about basketball, and we're talking about basketball movies, and I love basketball, right? And he does too. I'm going to tell you a little secret. I haven't joined the basketball team at our school at all. I know he has. You have.
Yep.
How was your experience with that?
How was my experience?
Yeah, how was your experience? This is a little bonus of us, just a little bit, because I know we were.
My experience?
Yeah.
Well,
did you like it there? Did your teammates enjoy you? Did you enjoy your teammates?
Yeah.
All right,
but it's not. It's not like when you get in there.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta show them that you can do it.
Yeah.
You can go the extra mile.
The coaches want to see that you're not going to hesitate for things. You need to just do it.
They want to see you exceed more than when you got there.
Yeah. I agree with that, yeah.
And you know, if you slack off,
They'll see it. They'll
don't do your
notice.
homework, all that. But you already know it's going. You're going to be on the bench for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and make sure that you get good grades because they will see that if you don't get good grades, you're not going to join the basketball team, right?
Yeah,
They are very big on that.
You need good grades.
You need good
go
grades.
to college, get into good school.
Just
grades.
graduate. Make sure you focus on that goal of graduating because I am, and he's already has, right?
Yeah,
You have.
already graduated.
He has a job now. It's a fun job apparently, isn't it? Yeah. Wakes up 4 a.m. to open the shop.
Yep.
He does. What do you do?
Paint cars.
What do you do for the job? Paint cars.
Paint cars. Sand cars.
Okay.
Do body work.
All right. Can you give us a little detail on your favorite thing that you do there and how you do it?
My favorite thing.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing to do at work? Something that you have to do that's fun. You know. Like just give us a little detail on your job because I haven't been there, and I did take automotive, but I didn't like it because. It just wasn't.
No, this is not automotive. This is. Automotive.
I know, but he's done automotive.
Right.
He's finished automotive.
Yeah.
What would you say? Like you graduate from automotive?
Yeah.
He's graduated. I've been in automotive for last year. I failed it because I didn't. It wasn't the best for me, but
2 years of auto body, 3 years of automotive.
He's in love with cars. He can he can name any car, bro.
I can.
I can't, and he gets mad at me because if
old cars, new cars.
You know what the funny thing is? Last year, when he was walking with me with the bus stop, because he was our bus buddy. We had Logan, me, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you, right? Javier, me, Logan, right? We were the best buds. We were best 3 musketeers, bro. We would walk to school to the bus stop, and just out of nowhere, a cool car comes by, and he looks directly at me. Says, "What kind of car is that?" And I'm just like, I come up with this some stupid answer. And he's like, "Are you kidding?"
I know the make, model, what engines.
He says, "That's the blah 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 blah. This has almost 2,000 horsepower. Blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay, bro."
Bro, first of all, no car
has 2,000. Yeah.
Unless it's all
you get that. That should tell you that I don't know about cars. I do like the build though, but keep going about your job. You still haven't answered the favorite part. What's your favorite part? Yeah.
It's probably painting.
Paint? How do you do the paint?
High-end cars. Well, you get in the paint booth.
Mm-hmm.
You get your paint suit on. Get in the paint booth.
So you have a white? Is it white or is
it's white.
What does it look like? It's just like a big, Squid Games costume kind of thing.
It's white, and then you get it's like a box hat.
Yeah.
And it's got like a clear. And then it's got a tube.
So it's like a gas mask.
It's got a tube in the back.
Okay, right.
And it comes down and gets attached to your side, and then you hook it up to the air chuck.
Okay. All right. Was it oxygen?
Yeah, that's
the breathable oxygen.
And then
do you wear gloves, right? I'm hoping you wear gloves, like plastic gloves, or no?
Yeah.
You wear plastic gloves.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm asking you is I want them to realize what kind of details in them.
You need protection and all that. So you wear gloves, all that. But
do you wear sleeve boots things? Do you wear the
No, you just wear regular
shower cap things.
You just gotta blow them off every time you go into the paint booth. But so the car gets done sanding.
So someone sands it or do you sand it?
Depends what day it is, but mostly.
Let's just say someone sands it and then
someone sands
it. That's painting.
It comes in to my coworker, then he tapes it up, so preps it to paint.
Okay. Right.
So it gets prepped to paint, and then when it comes in the paint booth, I have to wipe it down with wax and grease, the whole car, to get the dust.
The whole entire car?
The whole entire car.
The insides or just outside?
No, just outside.
Just outside.
Where it got sanded, I gotta wipe it all down, I gotta blow it out, make sure there's no dirt, dust, or nothing, because...
So you have to clean it first.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Dirt gets in the paint, customer doesn't.
So it's basically like putting on a screen protector.
Yeah, customer doesn't want that. And it depends. Sure. If I see scratches or anything in the paint from them not fixing it, I gotta fix it myself. So I put Bondo.
So you have to legit clean it. And I know it sounds more obvious that you have to clean it for the paint to be sticking, but
literally,
what happens if you don't?
If I don't, the car's gonna get ruined.
The paint doesn't stay on. It bubbles. Does it bubble?
No, the sand.
Yeah.
we call like
Does it not stick?
Dirt practically.
Right. Okay.
If you don't wipe that off,
right,
then the paint won't stick to the car.
I know that sounds like the obvious thing, obviously. I'm just asking. Some people might not want to know about that.
True. So I literally sit there with the air truck.
Is it a little spray gun? Is it like a spray thing, or do you do the?
So it's like it's got like a nozzle, like a skinny nozzle, and it just blows air out of it.
Okay.
Like a blower.
Yeah, like a little like one of those paint artist things with spray paint things. Like it looks like a little pen gun.
No, it's just a blower.
Okay, yeah.
No paint comes out of it. It's just a blower.
Oh, it's just a blower.
Yeah.
Oh, you blow. Okay.
No,
I'm thinking of the different things. Okay, keep going. Because I was thinking about this is just
You're
like
thinking about like a paint gun.
Yeah, I was thinking about a paint gun. I thought you were
air truck is like
a air. Okay, so that's what blows off all the dirt.
They call it an air truck because you can attach it to, really anything.
That shows you how tired I am still.
DAs, all that.
Alright, go ahead.
So I use that. We use wax and grease, or you can use like any type of cleaner. Don't matter. But you sit there, you wipe it off, you blow it so it dries, all that. Like you gotta wait till the whole car dries.
Right.
Like it takes a couple. It literally takes a couple seconds because I'm in a heated room.
Yeah. How hot does it get in there? Pretty hot.
Well, in my room, like 85.
Oh.
Sometimes.
Okay.
But in the heated room, that like we bake it.
Oh, you bake it?
Yeah, we bake the car.
How do you do that? What's the process of that?
Well, after I'm done painting it, all that.
Okay.
And then I look around it, make sure there's no mess ups, all that. I heat up the door handle.
Yeah.
Like I take a heat gun from a distance.
So is this paint like a plastic like sheet thing, or is it a spray can type?
No, it's a spray.
It's spray?
It's
okay. Because I know there's...
I totally missed this part. So after I'm done cleaning it, I go I get out the paint booth. I go into the paint room, which got all the paints, clear coats. But before I do that, I get... So on each door...
Yeah.
So my boss gives us a ticket. And on the ticket, you got to read the ticket to see if it's color change. What type of paint is it? Is it clear coat? Urethane, base coat, clear coat, commercial paint. So there's so many different paints.
Yeah.
And then I get the code. I go in there, and it's really get in the computer. Put the code in the computer. Then you start doing your measurements, and then you put your first code on. First. Easy coat, blah blah blah.
Right.
Just to fill the car, and then you go back and if it says clear coat or pearls, then you're supposed to mix the clear coat with the pearl. So the pearls is like metallics,
right?
Like stuff like that. So like if you're in the dark and you look at your car, let's say it's red. You look at it, it's just red, like in the dark. But when you like if you would grab your flashlight and shine it up to it, you can see like it's sparkling and all that.
Oh, that's cool.
But so I put the code in, come back, and then clear coat it from the distance. I take the heat gun, heat up the handle, then I go grab I have a microfiber glove, because if you touch it, it'll leave fingerprints in the paint, and then you gotta resand that whole thing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I open the door. We have two big doors that it goes into the bake room. I open in there.
Right.
Put the car in, close the car, come out, and we have this big blue box, and it's.
How long do you leave it in the bakery?
Until I'm done with the other car.
Okay.
And then.
How long does that usually take? Like an hour?
Yeah, about that.
An hour and a half, maybe.
I do about maybe. I think the most I've done in a day was like 6 cars.
6 cars? Oh,
yeah.
That's fast.
And then, so the bake room gets between let's say about like 118 to 120 like Fahrenheit. So like hot.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Like if someone would go in there
They,
and
die,
they were
right?
locked in,
Yeah,
like
okay,
they would
dead.
die.
Dead.
Unless you hop in the car with the keys and turn the AC on.
Well, I mean, who would do that?
But that's really mostly it. But
Is that your favorite thing to do?
Yeah, that's fun because I get in there, I put my headphones in, no one talks to me, and I
No, it's just you're just solo and then, you know,
just do my own
just do
thing.
your own thing. Oh, that's cool. That's what's up.
Yeah, and then now it's different if there's no paint code for a car. Then I have a machine
Mm-hmm.
that's like maybe this big, like that big.
Is there how much, like in size? How much? Because they can't see that, so you're gonna have to.
Oh,
put details.
okay. My fault.
So maybe like 2 lengthwise around like.
It's literally just a it tells you what the color of like the code is of the car really.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, like, I've done it wrong because you're supposed to go outside. You're supposed to. It's supposed to be light, and like when I first started working there, I didn't know that, so I just like did it in the like shade, and it was like a darker color because it's not the actual hitting the light color.
Yeah.
And screwed up the whole car, but the lady didn't mind it. She didn't
she
care.
didn't
She didn't care that it was a little bit of darker color.
Oh, okay.
So.
She liked it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
But you gotta take it, and it shows green. Like it will go. Like you put it
You
up
mentioned the size, right?
there. Yeah, it's like 2 inches, something like that. 2-3 inches.
2-3 inches.
Yeah.
Lengthwise.
It's like that.
So like around like
Like
maybe 3 inches lengthwise, and the height is more like 2
Yeah,
or
something
an
like that.
inch maybe.
Yeah. And it's got. You put it on there. Push the power button.
Mm-hmm.
It'll blink. Red. If it blinks red, it means it didn't scan it right. So you have to take it off, put it back on, and then if it blinks green, it'll show you the code.
Okay.
Go back and do
Oh, that's cool.
it. So I do like spot jobs. There's spot jobs, overalls, and then bumper repairs, blackouts.
What option, huh?
Well, blackouts is like so trim that's black. The under the wheel, like the wheel.
Yeah.
That's black. Like we get Ford vans, like them big vans, like work vans. We get those, and sometimes they want the front bumper and the back bumper painted a different color as the car.
Right.
So I have to do that. And then what else I said? Spot jobs are just like doors, like like you got rust in the roof. You just sand the roof, nothing else. You don't sand the car.
Oh, okay.
Overalls, that's the whole car.
That's what's
From
up.
top to bottom.
That's cool.
But that's about it. And then after that, it goes out. Then the next day, because you can't wash it the same day, it gets painted.
Yeah.
So you gotta wait.
Where do you put the cars for like? Cause it obviously kept
So
them
it's
outside.
it's literally. So our whole paint booth is literally like a let's say like an L or a circle.
Like a circle.
So
like an oval.
when
Maybe?
a car comes in, we have our inspectors look at it, give them their estimate. Then once that comes, it goes up to the front of the building. Then the body people get the car, start doing the body work, priming it, all that, getting dents out, rust, all that. And then it comes into the sanding booth. They sand it. Then it goes into the prep booth where it gets wiped down.
Right.
That's the first wipe down. What gets blown off in the sanding booth, they get the dust off. Then it gets wiped down. And then it gets taped. So because you can't tape where it's dirty. It won't stick. So then it goes in the paint booth, and then I wipe it off for a third time, just to make sure.
Right.
And then it goes into the baking room. After that, it goes out to the emblems. You gotta put emblems on. Get overspray off the window. Other stuff. Let me think. Overspray. Is that all you can say?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Overspray off the windows, if there's overspray on the rims, you gotta take, lacquer thinner to get off. But lacquer thinner is very like if you use Leica thinner and you get it on the paint when it's like
Okay.
it'll bubble the paint right up and it'll
Ooh,
take the
okay.
paint right off.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's very you gotta wear gloves when you use it, all that.
Oh, that's cool. So that's basically what you do. That's cool.
Well, after that, I'm not done. We're not.
Oh, you're not even done.
No, we're not even done.
You're not done.
We put
Oh,
that.
he wants to tell more. Okay.
But I'm just going through how the shop.
I don't know. Maybe guys, do you want to tell them the shop that you work at, or would you rather not? 'Cause
Nah.
some people might be. I'm not gonna be rude, but some people might want to listen to podcasts and then like, oh, I know where that is. Blah blah blah. Now I know who I'm gonna look for. Like I'm not gonna. Let's not tell them.
Nah, if you like comment it, if you want to like me to tell you my next podcast, then I'll tell you. But
Yeah,
There's no need to.
we'll think about it more.
yeah, but after that, the emblems get put on.
Yeah.
You know, roof racks. We put those on because you can't. The roof racks are plastic,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta take them off before you paint the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put those back on. Emblems, you know, lights, front lights, back lights. Then the next day,
Mm-hmm.
when we come in the morning, the car that just got painted yesterday,
Yeah.
it's untaped. Then they get the overspray factory off,
Yeah.
the trim and all that. Then it goes out,
Yeah.
gets swept out, blown out, washed out.
Mm-hmm.
Then we wax. Well, high-end cars we wax.
Okay.
So like foreign cars, Supras, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then like if it's just like if it's a dealer car, like if a dealership comes and they needs their car fixed, we don't wash it because they're gonna do it anyways.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they wash it before they put it out in the showroom.
Mm-hmm.
So we just give it to them how it is.
Right.
So, but if it's for like a client, we'll wash it, then we'll take it out front. And sometimes we'll wash that car like 5 or 6 times because
Okay.
the people didn't come for it.
Right.
And we want it to look good when they come.
No, because
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So you
But-
kind of prep it just in case
Yeah.
if they do come. Okay, that makes sense.
But that's practically it. I mean, I make it sound, you know, easy.
You do make it sound pretty easy,
But it's
to
no-
me, it just sounds like a whole bunch of like scientific theory and all that. Like, well, okay, but I mean,
But
it doesn't sound that bad though.
but
I think it sounds pretty fun.
It's, you know, if you got like the people in the office, probably got the most
Probably more.
worst job because
Yeah, probably.
no, you got people like so we got
Mm.
like people in the body shop like this one dude. No names, not gonna say no names.
No, you
But,
don't say it.
Sometimes he'd be like breaking things and not telling.
Oh,
not telling
we don't
people.
want employees like that though.
But he works fast.
I mean, it's good to work fast, but
And
it's
so,
not
well,
good
he doesn't
enough.
do it all the time, but
Or is it just like an accident or?
yeah, it's one accident. But he knows how to fix it. But he don't tell no one until they bring it back to him, and they're like,
Okay.
"Oh, I was gonna fix that." Well, why didn't you tell us before? You could have fixed
okay.
it first.
Yeah,
you know?
don't do that. If you break something in a workshop or any place that's their property, just tell them.
Yeah, and then so like, and sometimes like
Mm.
people want free stuff, like
Right.
like so.
Like what type of free stuff?
If we mess up, like in sanding, so we take pinstripes off because we got to, and sometimes they don't want the pinstripe back on, so we gotta sand it out, prime it,
Yeah.
and then sand it with 400 or 1,000,
Yeah.
and then I didn't even talk about that. So we got
Oh.
so we got different grade sandpaper. We got 1,000, 600.
Mm.
320, 240,
Mm.
and 180 and 400. I
Yeah.
think I said 400. I don't know, but all different grade sandpaper. We
Right.
usually use if it's base coat, clear coat, 400 to 1,000.
Yeah.
If it's a dealer car, 240, and then the roof 180. That's like rougher. So the higher is like the thinner. So 1,000 that's like really thin.
Okay.
and then 1400 that's like paper. So
Okay.
the same with paper, practically. And then you got red Scotch-Brite and gray Scotch-Brite. So it's like practically a Brillo pad. And so like when new bumpers come in, we don't gotta sand them. We just gotta take this like pad and just go over it, just to like scuff it,
Right.
just that the paint sticks real quick because
Yeah.
it's already scuffed, like it's brand new.
Yeah.
But where was that? That was practically it. That's probably what I do. But like people like a couple days ago, this guy came in. I took the license plate off this car because you're supposed to take the license plate off because you got a sand under it, and he had a camera, but it wasn't connected to nothing. Like it didn't.
The back of the truck.
The back of it was a truck.
It was truck.
Yeah.
You said truck, right? Or did I just guess that?
No, you guessed that for some reason.
I guess that.
But it was,
that's weird.
no, the camera, like there was no wires hooked up because the wires go to to the front of the car and all that. It's hooked up. Well, the wires weren't even hooked up. They were just bunched up there and like zip tied together. And so, taped it up. It went through the process, and then it was about to leave.
Yeah.
So customers come and pick up his car. Well, so I'm painting.
Right.
Boss comes in. He's like, "Oh man, customer's truck." Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So you walk over.
I go over and he's like, and he starts yelling.
Oh, he's yelling. Like,
Yeah, he's
as
yelling.
long as yelling, or just like.
Just raising his voice.
The average amount of anger.
And then he's like, "Oh, you broke this because you took off the license plate. Blah 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 blah." Now at this point, I'm irritated. I know I didn't break it, but I can't yell at a customer.
Right, because it's not true. I know you would want to. Don't do that.
Things are going through my brain, but
you're
can't
not wanting
say
to say it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he's like, so all two of my bosses are next to me, and we're all telling him like, "Yo, we showed him the cameras because we had cameras throughout the whole thing to see who, like, if someone breaks something, don't tell us, then they're getting fired."
Right.
Like, we all get like, I think it's like 3 or 4 chances or something like
So
that.
like strikes. Basically.
Yeah,
like,
practically.
you get 1 strike. 3 you're out.
But if it's like a big strike, like you do something big, then
that's just automatic.
You're gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But we're all standing there. And he's telling us like, "Oh, you broke this. It worked before." And I was like, "Well, I can show you."
Right.
Like, so we took it into our body shop. And we took him back there. We put it on the lift, lifted the car up, and I showed him like, "Your wires are not going nowhere at all."
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, well, you guys took it off. I had it hooked up. Blah 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 blah." So I was like, I told my boss, "Let's go look at the cameras, see if anyone else took it off, because I know I did. It wasn't hooked up when it came into my shop. The sanding booth, it wasn't hooked up, so it could have been the body people."
Right.
So we looked at the cameras. Blah blah blah. None. No one touched the license plate. No, the only person that touched it was me.
So you think maybe he did it?
What?
And he's trying to blame you guys?
No. Sometimes people come in, and so let's say let me give you an idea. Let's say they get their whole car painted, all right? And it comes out great.
Correct.
And then they see like a scratch or a crack on their windshield, and it was there when it came in, but we didn't see it. But he knew it was there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Do you think he did that and knows that it was like that, but then also...
No, he knows it was like that, but he just wants it for free.
So it's kind of like...
So
that's what you mean by trying to get it free. So
yeah.
Like they know, because they might not have enough money to buy or purchase that item to fix it.
Exactly.
So they'll blame it on you guys and then say, "I need a discount."
And then so we were like, well,
I'm out.
We were like, well, we can't do nothing about it because we didn't break it. We didn't do nothing. And then he's like, "Oh, well, you gotta pay for it." I'm getting my lawyer.
Sorry, guys, I have to. My phone died real quick. All right, what were we saying?
Where was that?
The guy that
Oh,
trying to get the free stuff.
Yeah, he's trying to get this free backup camera hookup. He had everything there.
Okay.
All it needed was maybe a couple foot of wires and then get hooked up. But he was like, "Oh, we can't do it." Blah 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 blah.
Mm.
But at that time, our front office was full of customers.
Right.
And like, we got this guy yelling at practically all the people that were supposed to be helping those people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the boss was like, "Javier, I gotta go. Figure out something. Do something. Blah
Right.
blah 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 blah." Now, like, we thought about just okay, we're gonna like we looked it up. It was gonna cost like $60 to get the wires and put it together.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just thinking about okay, we'll just give him $60, let him go
Right.
do it himself. But then we were like, why are we paying for something that?
Yeah.
Good?
Right.
So he was like, I was like, I can fix it, but we're gonna charge you.
Uh-huh.
He's like, what do you mean? I was like, we're charging you. And he was like, oh, how much? And I think it was like 110 or something.
110. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Because we
not
had to
bad.
get the wires and all
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, okay, then we can do it. So it made, like, it was weird. It was, like, people be trying to get, like, free stuff, all that.
That's weird.
Like, if they sand it, like, when the estimate comes and it has a pinstripe, we ask them, do you want the pinstripe or do you not? Like, some people will
Right.
say, no, we don't want the pinstripe.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll sand it off. And then when it gets out, they're like, oh, I thought I wanted a pinstripe. And they're like, well, you didn't pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not getting it. But
Right.
pinstripes are like $80.
Hmm.
But they could be too. I mean, if you tell them to put pinstripe on, like just a quick one, not no like, because we do like different shapes, designs, all that.
Okay. That's what's up.
But that's practically what I do.
That's what he does.
Now, let's see what Marcus does.
I don't have a job.
Well,
We'll talk about me.
what is your daily life? Let's see.
Daily life?
In a day, like a school day, let's say.